Hello, everyone, and welcome back to game number 2, day number 5, week number 5 of the Smite Pro League. We're past the halfway mark and get ready to go into C9 versus Coast.
Wouldn't it technically be week 6? Since
No.
Sunday is the start of a
No,
new week.
it's by the roll. It's like when you're sleeping, right, and your mom says it's tomorrow, but it's not tomorrow because you haven't gone to sleep yet. It's the same thing, right? It's like 1 a.m. It's technically tomorrow, but it's not because you haven't slept yet.
I don't like it.
No?
I mean, I agree. I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying that, like, for me,
No?
it's a different week. And it is very, very hot in here. But I think it's time to actually go ahead and hop into picks and bans. This is going to be Cloud9 taking on Team Coast.
Yeah, that's right. C9 versus Coast. Coast having a little bit of trouble here in the beginning of the Pro League. They're going to be sitting at 3-10, so they're having a very difficult time keeping up with the pacing. You're looking across the way, C9 6-6, just dead even for wins and losses.
It could be worse. You could be Thirst.
Wow. Wow.
It's true. Thirst has had a lot of obstacles to overcome.
They have.
But I'm saying it always could be
Okay.
worse. Taking a look here as we go ahead. No shocker here. Noah getting banned out. That's pretty much standard in the European side of things.
Arachne's not.
Get that spider out there.
So
No,
Arachne's going to be
screw the
banned away
spider.
here. C9 is no. We don't know that. We do know that Hyrock likes to play those kind of off, like
yeah.
Bastet, Arachne, those kind of weird things. So get a shot at Hyrock here. We're going to see Nuwa banned away immediately. Going to take that away from Cornio, make sure he doesn't pick that one up. Gab going to be locked in for the ban. Of course, the next ban will go to Coast, and C9 has first pick. Will they go for something different? Now, Mercury's gone. Athena's available.
Yep.
Will they go for John Quay? Will they go for a Freya? Will they go for something or like a Rom? We'll see.
They could. Now finally Geb is getting banned, and so many times you see him freeing up. It's like we're grabbing him, but we might see possibly a Ra. I mean, when you pick Ra in the first stage, you give so much versatility. Same with Jean Quay, right? Because it's like, is he going to go mid? Is he going to go solo?
Well, he's just good no matter where he goes.
Yeah.
I don't think it really matters where he goes as long as you have him here.
Pretty
Now,
much.
first pick John Quay for Cloud9 means that Nemesis is available here for Team Coast. We'll see if they go for it now. There's definitely a lot available, right? I mean, they have Princess Tomato here. They might be going for that Athena grab up. They do have Giannis available, which could be picked up by C9 as well. We do know that Optics plays. Actually, I think that Giannis is probably the best pick for Coast right now. Cornio plays a fantastic Giannis. Optics' Giannis is even better, and you don't want him to get it. I imagine they're going to pick it up here in the first 2 picks, or maybe they'll just give it away. We'll see.
This is a no-brainer that Nemesis has to be picked here. Nemesis has to be picked in this first rotation. It just has to be done.
Vamana hovered on.
Oh.
Nemesis hovered on.
Okay. Nemesis being hovered on. Vamana still being there. No, Vamana just an absolute monster.
Cabrakan being hovered on.
Stop it.
I like him.
Stop it.
I like Cabrakan.
He's getting buffed in the next patch. Then we
like
might see him. And it actually looks like it is going to be Ra. So Ra is going to give them a lot of healing, a lot of damage, searing pain. We already saw what it can do. Everyone knows it at this
Short
point.
cooldown.
It's he's a beast.
So we're going to see Odin hovered on here from Cloud. That's going to Emilito. And one thing we do know about Emilito is that he used to play Odin before, so he understands the character even better. But one thing that's kind of been detrimental so far, as far as just watching him in the SPL and watching players, is that Odin's, he's very similar in the way he plays, but he has a lot of differences in the way that, we saw last match, Zeros was kind of staring at the spears for Odin's ultimate, thinking, I kind of want to pass through this, but I feel like I can't, but you can, but you can't. And, it's this. You played Odin for so long, and seeing him change that way means you're not really ready for it. Cloud9 has one more selection to make here. Will it be? Oh, it's going to be a mirror, which means that this could be a support Odin, a jungle Odin, a solo Odin. This could be a support Emir, a jungle Emir, or a solo Emir.
I don't know about the solo for either of these two. I mean, it does happen, but I would assume an Odin support and a Ymir jungle. Just because, I think Frosty kind of was like, look, you build Blink and you make sure you kind of drunkenly stumble into the lane here, and then you just hit your stun, and you're pretty much good to go in every
Speaking of
team
drunkenly,
fight.
Bacchus is going to be locked in here for Team Coast. Now making a ban on the right side of your screen is Team Coast. They might want to look for mages here. Now they've got their Ra, they've got their Nemesis locked in. So you're wondering, are they going to take out the Giannis with the ban here? You can see overall a very well-balanced team for Team Coast, whereas Cloud9 is kind of heavy on the side of defense. They've got 2, a warrior and a guardian plus a tanky mage. They need some late-game hyper carry potential to bring this together. Bacchus sort of fits that role here, so they're going to take away from NQ. I actually adore this choice from Coast. NQ has been just eating people's lives
insane.
with that Bakasura, but also fills that late game carry potential role that they desperately need right now.
Well, the big thing about Baka too, I mean, right now Heavy Hammer's 1100. It's finally going to be buffed up. Well, I guess nerfed up.
As I've been saying for like 3 weeks.
Make
it 13. I was like, make it 1300 and it will be fine. It'll be perfectly balanced. And then they're like, you know what? Let's make it 1350. And I was like,
hey, whatever.
I got one upped.
Yeah, hey,
I got one upped.
Hey. So it is going to be Rom locked in, and then on the other side, Apollo's able to squeak through, as well as Isis. So Isis, someone, she's good, but her ultimate Circle of Protection is so hard to get a good one, right? Because you always save it. You're like, oh, I'm waiting for the perfect one, and then it just never comes.
Unless there is a man who carries a large amount of spears in his backpack and is walking nearby and puts them in a perfect circle around your enemy. I mean, they've got Odin, right? So Odin can put that down, and they have a lot of combo potential. They've got an Amir ultimate, large circle. They got Odin ultimate, large circle. John ultimate, large circle. Ice ultimate, large circle, and then Apollo from above. They have a lot of combo potential with this ultimate. So one thing you're going to look to see on Team Coast, and I'm actually surprised to see Agni picked up here, although Corneo plays a fantastic Agni, is the fact that there is really only one person that can get out of those spears, and it's Bacchus. And if you're going to let one person out of your death circle, why not let it be the Guardian? Be like, bye-bye, Guardian. Yeah, leave your teammates alone. Exactly. And so they're going to lock them in with the Odin Spears. And it looks like it's going to be a jungle Emir, a support Odin, a solo Junquei, and a mid Isis there for C9. But this lineup is hot and heavy. They have a lot of combo potential, and Coast look to see a couple combat blinks here.
Yeah, there should be a couple. I'm assuming one on Ra, not one on Rama. That's probably not going to happen. Definitely one on Agni, though.
Sure.
And that's going to help them kind of get out of the Ring of Spears. But, again, right? There's a lot of pressure on Emilito to deliver with the Ring of Spears. There's a lot. Now, granted, he doesn't even have to initiate really with it, though. With this team comp, he doesn't have to because he has Ymir, right? Yeah. Ymir's going to kind of run around through the jungle. He's going to come out. He's going to freeze you through the ice carpet. Then you can kind of lock him up from there. So early on, any lane kind of, that High Rock goes to, he's going to see success. Unless anyone buys early beads, which Variety might, but
well, here's the thing, right? And we've seen a big separation in jungle Emirs and how they're played. We've seen this is the two hands of justice you have. You have the right hand, which is basically hard damage, CDR, penetration early on. So you go for like the shoes of focus. You pick up a Polynomicon. You pick up the Void Stone. You get a lot of penetration, a lot of damage, and kind of take them out. You have the left hand, which is a little bit more utility, right? You get the Winged Blade, which means you can't be slowed. Yeah. And I think that's going to be the left hand this time around. The reason being is that you look across the way. You have a hard stun from Agni. You have a hard stun from the Bacchus, but everyone else relies on slows exclusively. Nemesis, all slows, no hard stuns. You've got Ra, all slows, no hard stuns, no hard CCs at all. And so if Rama, again, he has got a cripple and a slow, and that's it. And so you look at the way that it's played here, I imagine HyperX going to rush that Wing Blade, and he's going to run on the map, and he's got the movement speed, he's got the extra little attack speed, he's got a little HP, and he can actually use his passive very effectively to slow them down.
Now, when you're saying rush, you're not saying, what are you saying, third item?
Maybe like second item.
Second item?
Second, first or second.
Well, I guess we're going to go ahead and say, but before we do that, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the teams here. Cloud9 taking on Team Coast. Cloud9, Young Bay bringing Apollo. Emilito bringing in Odin. Zhang Kui is going to be played by NQ. High Rock bringing Ymir into the jungle. And Isis hanging out on Optics.
Look at these stats here. I mean, you can see 111 assists there for Princess Tomato. Across the way, looking at the support, is going to be Emilito with 98. So not as many assists on the side of C9 as there are on Coast for the support. Looking at the kill-death ratio there, pretty high for Variety as far as how things go. But Shaggy Shen kind of leading the charge for his team. The only person who's positive, actually, on the KD ratio by itself. Across the way, Young Bay is going to be 446 GPM. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
NQ 479 though. Look at NQ's GPM.
NQ's actually, give me a second. Yeah, okay, I have to dodge around a monitor here. Yeah, yeah, basically 480. He's doing really, really well. But on the same side, right? I'm thinking of Team Coast. Shaggy is supposed to be positive. He is the hunter. Even if his team's losing, he's still supposed to be doing damage. And Princess Tomato really is going to start getting a lot of credit. I mean, look at the assists, 111. It doesn't matter that he's 8 and 49.
Well, let's cover who's playing what and where they're going today. Of course, we do have the solo laners at the top of your screen, and they are looking pretty mean and sharp. It's going to be a Junkwei versus Ra matchup into the support role. We've got Odin on Emilito, and across the right side, you're going to see Bacchus played by the mighty, mighty, mighty Justice Delivery System for Mr. Coast. And, of course, we do have Ram in the Hunter role is going to be played by Shaggy Shank. Across the way, we've got Apollo there played by Mr. Young Bay. We got Isis in the mid lane. And he's going to be played, of course, and of course the right side Coast is going to have Agni. Yeah, you see no stats.
First time.
No stats.
Bringing Isis into the conquest here for Optics. This is I normally, it's everyone's like, oh, well, all eyes on him because he hasn't played it. But at this point, especially with the bye week that we had, that we're just coming off of, it really makes sense that we're going to see a little bit of mix-up, especially now, you have people worry about Kukulkan, which I'm very surprised we've yet to see one of those yet.
Well, you see, Odin haven't been played before yet by Emilito. You can see Mir not been played yet by Hyrock, and of course Isis not played yet
has been played by
Optics.
Him?
No, Junkwei has been played by NQ. But Odin, Ymir, and Isis the first time for C9 across the way. All of the characters on the lineup for Coast have been played before, and so that's kind of the difference, right? We're going to see a pretty new lineup here for C9 and see what they can do with it. They're currently 6-6 here as far as their overall score. So the question is, can this make a difference for C9? I like the lineup, but it is very combo heavy. And we've seen before, the combo heavy teams don't really make as much of a difference. When Kublai Khan was really popular, you'd look for the setup with the yawn into the uppercut. You bring in the combo from the Kublai Khan ultimate. And it's difficult to make that work if you miss the combo because you don't have a whole lot of follow-up. But I feel like C9 can make this.
I just hope they don't go for the really, really fancy plays. I don't want them to be like, okay, all right, you're going to start this, Odin, and then Hyrock's going to blink in, and then, they just really need to grab it what they can. But, okay, Curse Gauntlet coming out right away for Young Bay. I'm digging this. I'm a big
health
fan.
Potion.
No health potion, nothing, just going straight with it.
Yeah, I disagree with this. I think that, so there's a lot of things that go into this as far as the Hunter builds go. You have the option of going Devoure's Gauntlet, Transcendence, or Heartseeker. And you also have the option of rushing Devoure's Gauntlet or picking up the Death's Toll. You see across the way, Shaggy Shank with a little bit more safe build there. When you rush the Gauntlet, you have a little bit of gold left in hand to pick that up. And so he's got 1,500 there, so he's able to kind of grab it. So he's looking straight for the Devoure's Gauntlet. Grouping up is C9 going to be spotted immediately by Mr. Princess Tomato. But, yeah, this is a greedy play from Young Bay, and we'll see if I think what they're looking for here, as you can see by the consumable pickup from Emilito, is he's got 8 potions. And so all they're going to do is allow Young Bay to sit back. They're going to allow Emilito to drive the lane up very, very heavily with the combination of his jump into his shield, and he'll be able to control the lane from the front end and take damage in the meantime. So Emilito's going to be absorbing damage, Young Bay sitting back and farming. If Young Bay can get enough gold, which is not much to finish off those gauntlets, he's going to rush it early.
Yeah, and on top of that, Hyrock busting out the Potion of Magical Might. He's going to be looking to get involved as soon as possible. So if all things went according to plan there, they were really looking for that early pick. But I'm expecting Hyrock to be very aggressive. All eyes on the short line.
Well, this is Hogless Hyrock. He doesn't have the guts. So he started with the potion, so he's got that extra damage. But because the cost of Bumba's into the potion, he really didn't have much left to spend, and so he is pretty much stuck without a hog here. Now, of course, he does have his passive. Frostbite is a very powerful ability for Ymir, which means that if he freezes anyone with his 3 or his 2, he is going to do 50% more damage with basic attacks, with the potion going to help him clear out. But of course, he doesn't have the secure potential. So look to see if Zinder notices it.
Slow that jungle clear though is. I mean, it's basically around the same time, but they lose this entire wave because they are going up against a Raw. Kind of would have liked to see him actually start off with the hand, just so they could get back in lane just in time.
Well, it's clearing out. We're going to see the same thing happen as last game. Emilito going to steal away that back RB.
He actually got it, though.
But Coast wasn't ready for it. They were not prepared to take that one down. It looks like Dash going to be used in the mid lane there from Corn. Optics can clear out the wave even faster than the Dash could that time around. Right side, so damage coming out on Zinder, but the heal from Variety will keep him alive and kicking. We have the multi-potions picked up from Hyrock, so look to see him use more abilities.
Well, Princess Tomato taking some damage here. Young Bay and Shaggy doing it out. Rom, his dash away is just so effective. It's just so safe. It makes him such a safe god to use. But I would go ahead and say that Rom's probably the most well-balanced hunter in the game.
they going damage enough? They're doing damage, but I love this play from C9. Pushing Corneo into the tower, clearing the wave, and they'll go straight for the damage enough. Now keep in mind, they don't have Hand of the Gods to secure this, but it looks like they may not need it. Look at, he's swinging for 114 with that Frostbite passive. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You can run Hogless Emir if you are using the durations of your abilities better. Nice stun from Corneo.
I couldn't do it. Hyrox's a very, very ballsy player here going out with the Hogless one. And, you know, he hasn't really gotten to the mix yet. I mean, they have stolen the jungle buff, which is going to be big for them. Unfortunately, Nemesis is going to go over there and be like, oh, Agni, let's get your damage. Oh.
Forcing the sprint on the right side is Variety. There goes the hit from the Exposed Evil to clear out the way from NQ. Of course, that sprint will be on cooldown for 60 seconds. A full minute is now on that timer. Movement speed buff picked up here by Hyrox as they push that away. And he's going into the mid lane to defend as Zinder and Corneo are pushing up. But, you know, this hog is not a big loss for Hyrox. He's able to clear very effectively.
And, you know, they still have their damage buff that they're getting rotated to as well, which is exactly what Optics is getting ready to do. So, all things considered, Cloud9 doing an excellent job here in the jungle. Taking a look at the wards, they have... Actually, they have no coverage. No, they have one by the blue buff there by Ra, which is probably placed by Zhang Kui. So, you'd like to see him get a little bit more wards, but I mean, in general, I mean, they're doing an excellent job in the jungle.
Infinite damage buff for Optics as he gets the second one so far this game. Mid camps are spawning shortly here, Gandhi, so look to see if Coast can get there in time to defend their early start here. They have a very slight lead, 300 gold, and they want to try to solidify that. Looks like the right camp will go to Coast. They're going to elect to leave it alone and go to the left camp, but as predicted, we do see the Devourer's Gauntlets completed for Youngbei very, very quickly there due to the pressure from Melito using, looks like 5 of his early 8 potions just to make sure he stays alive.
Well, Youngbei actually choosing to not even go with an active or anything. I mean, he's sitting right now finally on 400 gold, so he should be going back. Might get tier 1 boots, but it's a little bit surprising to me that he put so much faith into Dev's Gauntlets. I mean, I love seeing new plays. I just don't know how it's going to work out for him.
Well, I mean, this is more of a casual play, right? You see, in most games, if you're running like a normal match, right, you almost always rush Devourer's Gauntlet because you don't need the death toll to keep yourself alive from the pressure. So he's kind of just sitting back, and I think he's leaning on the fact that A, Hyrox is doing a lot in the jungle to clear it out and make sure the map is wide open for him. We've seen so far, I mean, Zinder's been struggling to just clear out his own jungle because it's being invaded so many times and the buffs are going away. At the same time, Emilito being very aggressive on a Shaggy Shank, forcing a roll. And I think one of the biggest things for him is that Shaggy Shank really can't keep up with the pressure that's coming from Youngbei. Extra damage means that the So Beautiful clears the wave a little bit more effectively. Oh, look at this right side. Hog has already been used. Hyrox doesn't see it. Does he actually go for the stun? Frost Pressure killed it. There goes the hit. Glacial Strike gets the kill. And now Zinder forced away. Does he have an ultimate? He does indeed, but Zinder can pop it there on Hyrox, forcing him out of the fight. The wall will secure it. No rotation coming out from the Soul Lane, and that is free and clear.
That wall looks so awesome with that skin. And, you know, he does have Blink online already. So looking for him to start making some engagements here. They might be looking for this. They're not going to go in on it, though.
Nice
Zinder and Variety know that they are outmatched there as Agni is going to just be sitting in lane. Corneo, no worries here. He does have to be a little bit careful here as Hyrox, he can do some significant damage. But, you know, Agni is such a safe god. Look at the damage he still takes, though.
Well, that's kind of why you don't hog at the start of the clamp, right? Because he hogged right at the start, it meant that Hyrox really could just come in and do whatever he want with it.
Pretty much.
At this point, he's going to be rushing the boots. I think after that, he might just go for Winged Blade, but he could go for a more damaging build, something like a Void Stone, or maybe even picking up a little more HP early on. We'll see what he decides to go with here. Optics, of course, can be clearing out this wave, and I like the fact that Optics is playing very safe. Now, his aggressive plays on Giannis is different. Frostbreath and Corneo. The dash has been used. He's now by himself. The wall is available if he wants to go for it. There goes the wall. No ultimate coming out here from Hyrox just yet. Princess Tomato forcing the fight. There goes the bomb. Bomb going to miss. Belly flop coming out here. Emilito forcing him to go into the jungle, and of course, right as this happens, hey, Mr. Blue Buff, Mr. Damage Buff.
Hey, it worked out for him. C9 just keeping the pressure. Youngbei actually has to exchange shots. Here's a oh god, amazing play by Hyrox. A lot of damage coming in on Princess Tomato. Still not taken out. Astral Barrage up to the sky. Shaggy Shank actually is going to be able to turn this. Hyrox should be taken out very, very soon. Down he goes. Shaggy Shank will be able to get the double. Optics able to get one. Circle of Protection not used yet. And then finally Searing Pain's just going to miss. Optics is going to go down now. And that's a humongous win for Team Coast. Welcome to the Gold Fury.
Cornio made a fantastic series of plays there, able to take off the early pick there on Youngbei with the Flame Wave, of course, and stayed alive the entire time. Raw heal keeping everything going, but that was just more of an extended engagement for C9 and shouldn't have happened there. I mean, look at the way it is kind of growing from the Gold Fury now being taken out. We saw the combo potential squandered there. I mean, you put the Odin ultimate down, the Ice ultimate was late. There was no Amir ultimate that came along with it that really did a lot of damage. Of course, it really did damage to Princess Tomato. You trapped the only person that can escape the spears, the only person you don't care about inside the spears with an Amir ultimate. Didn't work out too well. And I think that a lot of that came down to the fact that Youngbei had a poor engagement. He came in from a very unfortunate angle, took a lot of damage on the way in, and had no way to go out. I mean, by the time he was on his way out, a Flame Wave took him out. I mean, he just took too much damage, and it was a bad angle to come from.
I don't know if that's being too greedy on the Cloud9 side of things.
It was.
Yeah, just trying to clear out all the damage buffs they can and just all the buffs in general. But Team Coast coming out on top. But the problem that we've seen, with Team Coast and Fat Chunks and all the teams kind of at the lower half of the SPL is that they just have a hard time closing games. They have they have a very good lead in the early games sometimes, and then they just don't know how to close. As HyperX is going to go for an initiation.
Ymir ultimate, Cornio blocked by the wall, not enough damage coming out here, good stun there, Flame Wave coming out as well, Optic's going to go down to the damage from Zinder, and HyperX by himself, nowhere to go, the bombs are both going to miss, the spears on the ground, he walks on through, but no follow-up there, jumping on the ground, looking for damage on Zinder, of course does not have enough left to deal with it, rotation coming out a little bit here from NQ, but it's not going to buy them any ground. Coast is picking up the kills, C9 had the early pressure, but it's just not working.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that Zhang Kui in NQ is sitting on 4,600 gold, which he's doing well. Or he's got a total of 4,600 gold. He's doing well, but he hasn't been in any of the fights at all.
No,
and when he gets in there, it's going to change a little bit. But at the same time, I mean, Variety's going to get in a piece of that as well, so that's going to be difficult. And he already has 3 assists.
Cornio is playing that kind of calm and steady game right now. He's 3-0-1. He was pressured in the lane very early on. We saw his damage buff was stolen. He was invaded very heavily by HyperX in the beginning, and of course the pressure coming out from Optics was heavy, and so he really bid his time and kind of controlled the lane to the point where he realized, hey, if we get a couple of kills, I'm perfectly fine. That's exactly what's happening right now. We see, Variety at 4,800 gold, but compare that to mid lane with 5,400 on Cornio. Cornio is the most farmed in the game right now, and he has the most amount of kills, and that's just because he's just playing so calm and steady.
Well, it's almost like, when you start playing mid, it's almost like, okay, I have to play selfish. You don't want to rotate too much because then you get behind in experience, and you just want to stay in your lane, control your heartbeats, and go from there. And he's doing just that. I mean, it's basically traditional play here as Princess Tomato going to go ahead and start working towards the sovereignty. Actually goes for the shell as well. I really like that play, and this is a pretty big grouping here going on the blue buff. Are they going to try to initiate here on Shaggy?
Don't know if that was necessary to clear the blue buff out, but it looks like they might be pushing the left lane. Shaggy should be okay. It looks like a whole lot of pressure coming out just yet. A lot of ward coverage coming out from both teams. I like the fact that Coast is reacting to the heavy mobility from C9 and is just placing down a lot of wards.
Let's go, buddy.
In response, they're going to rotate over. Looking for Core, you're not going to find it. We see rotation coming out from Princess Tomato. Level 8 currently, having a tough time with that. Damage Emulator forcing him away. Zinder and just kind of whack him there with the slice and dice. Both soul laners are heading home here. What will they buy? See Variety finishing off his boots and looking to rush a Chronos Pendant, it looks like, as he already has that restored artifact across the way. NQ has gone for Golden Sash, which is most likely going to be a Warlock Sash rush.
Yeah, as it should be. I mean, NQ, I think that's the big difference between Zhang Kui in the solo lane compared to the mid lane, right? Like, he's on his own island. He doesn't have to worry about too much pressure. He can kind of do whatever. Youngbei might be in a little bit of trouble here. He is going to get stunned. Here comes the belly flop. Shaggy Shank not going to follow up. He's just going to be able to clear out this wave. This is going to be fine for him. But, I think that's why you go Warlock Sash on Zhang Kui in the solo, just because you have so much time to farm. And 100 stacks is like nothing for Zhang Kui.
Well, I mean, the big thing is that it keeps him alive in those engagements. He has to get close. And so a lot of those mages that take a lot of damage as part of their design really like to build Warlock Sash. And so he's one of those that fits that bill. We have Blink 2 coming out from Emilito, which is going to help him use his spear. So he can jump Blink. He can jump in and then blink out, or he can blink in with the shield and then jump out. So he has that kind of backup there. That's occasionally why you do see Thanatos picking up Blink. He can ult in for the initiation and then blink out when he needs to. So you have that kind of backup there if you use everything to get into the fight. The Gold Fury will be spawning here in just about a minute and a half, Gandhi, and you got to wonder, is C9 going to look for this one? Because they can't let the Gold Fury go to Coast again, because that's the only reason Coast is ahead right now.
They can't let him go for it, but at the same time, they can't have a sloppy initiation like they had the last time and get greedy and get wiped from Team Coast. But I love the fact that NQ actually has gone with a Heavenly Agility, increasing the healing of his team and cooldowns, plus giving everyone movement speed. That's going to really help him as well, especially in team fights.
Well, I mean, you look at the supports right now. Coast has picked up Hog 3. Emilito has yet to go home and pick that one up. In fact, he spent more money on the Blink than he has on the Hog. And so if the Gold Therium, which has respawned at this point, Emilito actually, you look for the initiation, look for this follow-up here. HyperX is in, double intoxicate the heal from Ice's ultimate, though. Cornea with the bomb, ultimate coming out. Nemesis ultimate on HyperX, forcing him back, but he's pretty tanky at this point. Beautiful reaction and good escape route from Emilito. Going to the jungle, going away from the rotation from the Soul-In. Looking for Zinder, knock-in, retribution, damage tick. There's exorcism, and he goes on out. Beautiful reaction and good prediction from Youngbay as well. Now the Gold Fury is available. We do see the Prince Tomato is still alive with Hog 3, so they got to look to take him down lower.
The stun from Ice is just not finding its mark, but still so much damage from those 4 balls. Just uncountable. And then look at this, right? I told you, Zhang Kui just kind of comes back in. He walks right into one fight. He's been in one fight, and he gets a kill. He's going to be a beefcake here. And, oh, God, they might actually have this Variety's got to be careful. There's going to be the dot damage there. The heal's not going to make it in time, and rest in peace.
Nice play. Beautiful reaction and good ward coverage as well. And honestly, I think that was just a lazy rotation from Variety. That ward was down by the blue buff, so they knew that Optics was over in the right lane. You got to know that NQ is there as well. Of course, you did not see him on the map. But look at this. HyperX going straight into Wingblade. First item here after Boots. The second item completed, so he's going to get that actually rendition there.
Real life with the mark of the Vanguard?
He's the only one that does it, and he just likes to get a cheap amount of HP. Now, you can't sell it back for a 300 gold loss, so it's not a huge deal, but it is a little bit interesting to see him picking up a little bit late here. I like that mid-fight so far. I mean, we see, great spear, looking for Corneo. He's got to play this perfectly. Nice Aegis to avoid the stun, nice Aegis to avoid the jump. There goes the hit, and Mirror ultimate coming through. He's actually perfectly okay here. Looking for the swing, looking for the wall, gonna find it. Here comes rotation from Zinder. HyperX hit by the ultimate for Nemesis. Look for the bomb. Needs to hit this last Rom shot. Does he have it? No, he does not. He's down on the ground fighting on the right side. Looks like Zinder will slice and dice his way through to victory. The Hunters are exchanging blows.
Prince Tomato, belly flop. A little bit more safe here. Here comes NQ. Oh, that's a big stun. This is perfect for NQ. Oh, he misses the dot on everyone.
Youngbay popping the ultimate. Searing pain. God. Jesus.
The Damages!
He was almost airborne, and that was just the power of quick reactions. Variety noticing the fact that he was going up in the air, he's hearing pain. The Gold Fury is available here. Now, they don't have Blockus. They have Emilito on this side. Emilito has finished off his Hog 3. He has kind of gotten privy to the fact that the Gold Fury is a big point of contention for C9. They're still sitting behind by about 300 gold, but for all intents and purposes, Gani, this match is very even as far as gold goes, but 2,500 experience still in the way of C9, and experience really tells a strong story in the early stage of the game.
Yeah, and actually an E-staff coming out of NQ first instead of the Warlocks.
I think he realizes that this is going to start moving very quickly, right? I mean, you had this map opened up now. The Gold Fury is available. They're going to be poking it down there with the wards, make sure the vision is there. And I think maybe he's just thinking, I'm going to have to leave this lane. I mean, he's already got the enemy solo tower down, and he doesn't have time to just kind of sit in one place and farm the whole time. He has to push, and E-staff means that he doesn't have to worry about killing minions.
Emilito with a very, very awkward ring of spears that he then had to blink out of. It's my favorite thing.
It's a mating dance.
Yeah, he's just like, hey, man, I can get out of this too, even without my lunge. But yeah, I think maybe just because NQ was able to get that tower, he was like, maybe I can go with the E-staff, get that on a little bit early, and he's a little bit afraid of farm, but he's controlled this lane so well. Variety has 7,000 gold over there. NQ's working on 8,000. So he's done an amazing job. Taking a look at the stats here. The charts, the gold, neck and neck. The experience, 2,000 going on 3,000 in favor of Cloud9. And that's what we see, right? Team Coast, early lead. Now as the game progresses, they start letting it slip away. NQ actually looking to get a piece of this. Corinna is going to be in some trouble here.
Stunned out. Silence not going to be landing there in time. Purification Beats will save him. Flame Wave coming up, but NQ is pretty safe here. Zinder does have Chin Science. Keep in mind, he rushed that item. Very expensive. Oh, but he needs to get away. Gets away from the wall. Straight outside. Nice hit there. HyperX Poppy ultimate not going to land it. NQ dropping low. Belch God's coming through. Spirit Ball not going to hit anyone. There's damage. Big damage on NQ dropping away. Rom's up in the air. Look for that final shot. Can he find hits? No one there as HyperX backing away. He's wobbling. He's going to and fro. Variety doesn't have a Searing Pain available, so no snipe coming out from that one. The minions will be dropping down, but again, the Gold Fury is wide available. And one thing that's good to keep in mind is that the gold is slightly in favor of Coast, but they do have a Gold Fury already.
Yeah. Emilito hopping in this. Ring of Spears is going to be here as well. No follow-up at all from anyone. They didn't have the ability to do that. And so they're going to lose that tier 1. This is a going straight
it's
shot
a guaranteed
to the Gold Fury.
That was a bad play in so many different regards. I mean, look at the fact that he doesn't have a combat blink. He can't get out of that. He basically jumped in to save a 500 gold tower to give them a 1500 gold Fury. I mean, it's just not worth that exchange there. He's the only one that has Hog 3, so Emilito putting his team in a very tough position in the way that the gold Fury is free for Coast, and there's nothing C9 can do about it.
They are crazy. Look at this. HyperX going for this. Variety, actually, with a lot of damage. Down he goes. Optics able to get one. Will there be a follow-up, though?
He's
yeah.
Gonna go down there.
I was like, maybe he could get a stun.
Well, he's buying room for Young Bay to split push here. Shaggy is defending, and most players in the mid lane has to go home. Yeah, I mean, it's not available. He can't fly, but that just means that he's on par with every other hunter until he can get his spaceship back and fly across the map. So, and he's able to kind of control this wave, and we do see Shaggy going home here. He doesn't really have enough to take this tower out just yet. He's going to head on home himself, but yeah, I think that really just stemmed from the fact that the greedy play from Emilito forced the Gold Fury for Coast. Now, as far as the gold goes, I mean, you're looking at a 2,700 gold lead here for Coast, but at the same time, experience is in favor of C9. You got 500 experience in favor of C9, which means that they're going to be able to compete in a lot of ways, and the gold split up over 5 people means that they're really only going to be maybe half an item ahead across the board. So you have to be really careful about how you spend your gold here on the side of C9 because it can get out of control quickly. You also have to keep in mind Zindern rushed an expensive item, which means he was rather weak early, and now that he has Chinsai's done, he spent all that money on it, he's going to be that much more effective, and they may not be ready for it.
I wonder if Shaggy in his next item is actually going to go with the oboe. Now, after Executioner last week, we saw one player did 2,300 damage in one fight with the oboe, and 19,000 or like 18,300 damage or whatever it was. Or 1,800, excuse me, damage just came directly to player damage from the oboe.
Yeah.
So we're actually starting to see it come right after the Executioners.
Well, we'll see
which I think is good. There needs to be some diversity here in the item builds for hunters.
It's hard to do it for hunters, and really it depends on what they start with. If they start with a Transcendence, they have room to wiggle, but I think when they start with Devourer's Gauntlet, they don't, because you have this balancing act between attack speed, damage, penetration, and crit. And sacrificing that for the bonus damage from the oboe is hard to make a justification for because he's got lifesteal, he's got damage, he's got penetration, now he just needs crit. So why wouldn't he just go a Deathbringer or a Rage? I imagine Rage would be the next item just because the problem is hunters are so safe in their farm that they're really just going to go for an optimal build, which late game you want the crit.
You do? It's a good point. We've just seen it a little bit, and I know it's starting to get a little bit of play, so I was like, it might happen.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. I like different things.
I do too. HyperX working towards that Witchblade there. He has the Curse Blade online. Still
Which
level
is
2
strange.
blade. Yeah.
It's a little strange because it's going to allow him to move around the map and initiate more, but I feel like because of his team lineup with Junkwei and Odin, they're kind of relying on him for damage, which we've seen. I mean, he pops the ultimate, it does almost nothing.
Yeah, for sure. Does Isis benefit a lot from... Uh-oh. Wait, maybe? No?
Belly flop, initiation. Emilito's got a Spirit available, but he has no combo potential from his team. He's going to jump over the wall. Spirit Ball and Princess Tomato. They're forcing the issue. There's no Junkwei here. They're going to back off. Cooldowns have been used.
There's no initiation at all.
All 10 ultimates are still available, though.
Yeah. Young Bay just waiting. This is going to be a big push as well. Speed buff here is going to go really quickly here to HyperX. Zhangquei needs to go ahead and rotate over here. This is going to be NQ. And they're 5-man grouping. This is exactly the time we saw in the last game as well. Right around the 20-minute mark, you just start seeing everyone Wolfpack. Oh, brilliant. Ring of Spears trapping everyone. That's a lot of damage. Variety's in a world of trouble. He's able to get one, make that a double with Searing Pain. Young Bay's going to get himself a double. Optics all the way in the back. Young Bay going to push up. That's going to be a triple. Can he get the quad? That's going to be Princess Tomato. He could get the penta. Oh, you are a jerk, Optics. You're a jerk. That's a penta in my books.
That's a quadra for Young Bay, though, and that really just comes down to combo potential. That was a wombo combo. If you ever seen one, Ice Ultimate, Emir Ultimate, Odin Ultimate, Zhangquei come through. That's exactly what we were talking about in the picking stage.
Yeah.
That's it. And then right when it was about to end, Young Bay from above hitting 3 of them, shooting down, hitting that damage out, and that's really all they needed. Cleared it out, getting the quadra kill for Young Bay, and that's going to be a huge clear from them. The Gold Fury will be up in just about a minute and a half, or so actually less, about a minute now, as that left side tower is taken out. Looking at the gold numbers you can see, back in favor is C9, 1,300 gold in lead, 1-3-3-7, as the elite team makes their lead even bigger here, and the damage buff will be taken out by Optics just to add a little insult to injury. And that is just
Clear the
beautiful
jungle.
play.
Absolutely. Clear the jungle, head back, be as safe as possible. Both Harpies are going to be up as well. Optics could elect to go for that if he really wants to. Gold Fury is going to be coming on the respawn, so that might be the point of interest, but at the same time, you could just see the lane's really starting to push. I wouldn't be surprised to see short lane get pushed just a little bit, just so we could see the rotation to Fire Giant, but it is going to be basically grouping from here on out. Witchblade is going to be online as well for High Rock, and that he did go Rage, so he's not going to go Odysseus Bow, he's just going to go with the standard, going right into Deathbringer next.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see Optics getting fired for the team tomorrow. Just for stealing that Penta.
Yeah, no,
I'm just going to kick him off. I mean,
yeah,
what
what a dick.
Right?
Honestly.
Yep.
Like, that's what everyone was saying. He had it too, right? Like, Optics didn't have to go.
Well,
I understand it's a competitive game. Like, in a casual, like, you can sit there and you'd be like, oh, yo, let off, right?
Youngbay was low on HP. Very low. He was about a one hit away. So I mean, maybe Optics just thinking, close this out, get the win, move that on. Especially given the fact that C9 is 6-6, they can't really take any risks here. So we see the Gold Fury start up here by Youngbay, level 20 versus level 18 on Shaggy Shank, and have actually forced this away. I think he could have gone for it, but I think that he's just realizing that he doesn't want to risk it going away and giving a little bit of lead back to Coast. A lot of experience in favor of C9 right now. 6,000 experience.
Yeah, they also want to bait this fight. They know that they want to bait this fight so bad. HyperX going to be here. Emilito is just going to be hiding around here. You can kind of see him. He's just waiting for the combat blank to kind of hop in here. If anyone goes, this is a perfect bait on NQ and Optics. They're like, hey, yeah, look at us. We're weak. And he's just waiting to go. HyperX there as well. Look at this.
They have a ward, though. I mean, they saw it.
Yeah, they saw it.
They know they're hanging out there.
They're just like...
I mean, I think C9 is really realizing the potential of the combo that they have here. And
for sure.
It's something we were talking about on the picket stage. I mean, Odin, Isis, Junkwei, Emir, all combo into him, and then Apollo from above, just to finish it off. And that's exactly what they did in that last fight, and it worked so well. If they could find a way to make those situations exist more often, they're going to be able to control this game very, very easily. They do have 2 blinks, 3 blinks actually. NQ, Emilito, High Rock all running blink. They have a shell, they have a heavenly agility, and then get in there and get the damage done. So Coast really has to be careful about how they position themselves. We do see Variety picking up a blink here, but Cornio decided not to go through with it.
Yeah, not surprising at all. He has been getting trapped every single time here. By Emilito, so he's got to get out of dodge, right? And Variety, you want to have him online as much as possible. Now, it's important to note here that he's gone into such a defensive-ish build for Variety for Ra just because he was getting destroyed by NQ. I mean, look at the difference in builds.
Zinder's got Hide of the Urchin up, so he's got that chin size on the back. He's pretty tanky now. More of that standard Nemesis play rather than the crit Nemesis we saw last game from Frostiak, of course. And we got Voidstone up by Variety. He's got the CDR as well, so his ultimates are pretty close to about 38 seconds or so in cooldown. So he's got a pretty quick ultimate. They've got the Gold Fury available here. Coast looks like Zinder was about to go home. They have vision. It looks like they don't. They don't know it's there just yet. They're swinging. This isn't fooling anyone, Hyrok. They can't even see you right now. There's the ball. Zinder and Force Away Silence. Look for the ultimate from Emilito. Let's see if he gets that combo activated. And Coast is being very careful here.
Well, this also might come back to haunt them. Obviously, they didn't know that.
They're going for Fire Giant.
They are going to go for
But they have vision. They know it's there. They have vision across. They're actually going to run for it.
There's going to be a switch. And High Rock actually staying for a little bit of Harpies here. They actually might be going for the bait. They actually go for the Harpies as well. So Emilito, no, they didn't. I thought they were going to get ballsy. They should have.
Well, they were standing on a ward.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. They had a ward on the top side of that mid camp, and they basically went to Fire Giant. And here's the thing. If you don't have counter wards, just kind of do things to see if they react to it, right? Yeah. That's exactly it. They ran to Fire Giant, they stopped, and they looked at that ward they had above the mid camp, like, okay, if they run towards us, they have a ward here. They saw Optics run past that ward, and they're like, they have a ward. Okay, let's stop. And that's really just what you have to do. It's just a lot of guess and check. Run towards the Fire Giant. If they run towards us, we know that they have vision of us right now. They saw us do it. So there's a ward here. Let's play it safe and back off. I like the very casual and confident play from Coast just to see, just test the waters, see where C9's at.
Gold Fury
and,
did go down too.
Worst case scenario, they pull him off the Gold Fury. Unfortunately enough, they have Youngbay that can take it out pretty quickly. So Gold Fury goes down in favor of C9.
He took that very, very, very quickly. And, right now, Optics giving the Rod online, so that's going to be a significant increase in damage when he returns into the team fight. And that's a Talisman coming out for Emilito. So most likely going to be a Pestilence here.
Yeah, we'll see what he decides to go with. There isn't a whole, there's just Ra, really, that has the healing over there. So Pestilence would be a big, big pickup. He might even just leave it at the Silver's Talisman for now and get the stats out of it.
Well, the level 2, it's just so cost-effective.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, it's just free HP. It's free magical protection, 45 and 200. Very, very easy to pick up there. Emilito kind of driving the force here on the right side of the map. Trying to pick him up. Paul's up in the air. There's the combo potential of Frost Breath, Emir Ultimate, Ice Ultimate not being used. There it is on the ground. Blink away from Variety, but Bach is by himself, and that is going to be 4 ultimates with no kill return. Zinder by himself, dash away. Nice wall from HyperX, keeping him trying to slide the slow. The ball comes on out. He's still alive, but the heal from Variety is not going to be enough. Good. Damage on HyperX, forcing him away. They have to be careful here because Coast
Look at the
has
heal.
Princess Tomato dropping low. If they lose Princess Tomato, that's it for them. They can't defend the Fire Giant. They're
my God.
Up here.
HyperX.
Nice wall there. Up in the air he goes. A wasted ultimate indeed. No dis. Oh!
No!
I am so wrong.
And it stopped. And he stopped Youngbei from backing there. Carino. Uh-oh. He could do this.
Flame Wave is missing a little bit prematurely. He got scared there from damage from NQ will fall. They could possibly go for a Fire Giant here if they get this kill on Youngbei. Youngbei has no ultimate. Variety still pressing issue. Are they going to go for something here? There's a lot of wards in the jungle. Sting Pain coming out here, just hoping for the best. But of course, he does have a short cooldown on that ultimate.
This is a Fire Giant.
That was, well, Emilito's still here and Optics is as well, but they're going to go for it.
They're at least going to bait the
They have Hog 3. So, I mean, Prince Samuel can just belly flop when Odin jumps in, knock him up, and then look for the Hog 3. So,
here comes.
Eyes are on C9 for this one. I mean, the Fire Giant started
really.
Damage on Shaggy Shank. Variety's there. Optics looking for the ultimate. Belch of the Gods. They're still on it, though. Looking for the fight. Damage on Emilito. Force him away. Optics with a big burst. Corneo force dash away. Might be enough to leash him off, though. The Fire Giant is open.
And C9 did a great job at pushing them off of that. Now we are going to actually see Nemesis kind of rotate back into the fight. She's going to go ahead and push here as well. And are they really going to start this again? It's going to be the 5-on-5. They do have the heal. They're going to bait it at least, but they do have to be careful because HyperX here is going to be different. Oh,
the spears, nice. Hold on, keeping him in combat. They're jumping the wall. He goes, putting the spears down.
Great job.
Imagine there goes the hit. Big damage from HyperX. HyperX has a double kill. Shaggy Shank forced away. Blocked from Youngbei. Looking for the kill. Spears on the ground. The Fire Giant. It's going to go the way of Coast here as they dash away. Look for the damage. Going to find Youngbei. Backside. Belch of the Gods coming out. Not going to land. Actually turns the last second. Frostbite going to miss as well. HyperX forced to disengage. It's going to be a 1-for-2 exchange in favor of C9. But it's going to be a Fire Giant for no Fire Giant exchange in favor of Coast.
Yeah. They ended up on top somehow in that whole mess. HyperX did a good job. He blinked behind them. He froze the 3 carries, the people who are going to be doing basically the significant amount of damage. They still were unable to get it as well. So he tried his very best. He missed, unfortunately, another Frost Carpet in that, so he couldn't do as much as he wanted. But still, Coast is in the driver's seat.
Well, I think the best play there of that whole team fight, Gandhi, was the fact that we saw the Nemesis ultimate come from over the wall. So Zindern, with that ward behind the Fire Giant, put the ultimate onto Emilito. He has a blink that requires him to be out of combat to use it. And so you saw Emilito just pressing that combat, the greater blink button, and it's like, why isn't it working? Oh, wait. Nemesis ultimate from over the wall put me into combat and prevented me from using it, so I have to jump over the wall, which was a few seconds late, which means he didn't actually defend the Fire Giant in time. So Ko's able to lock that in pretty easily now. HyperX made a good initiation there on the backside. Really, the only reason Coast didn't win that fight is because HyperX counter-initiated on a flank and was able to get a kill out of it. We saw Shaggy Shank back out of the fight, but it was a beautiful play across the board. And I think you're really starting to see the fact that if C9 doesn't get the initiation, they're not as strong.
Yeah. Well, this is them. They have to basically give up this tier 2 as well. The Fire Giant's just going to shred through these towers. HyperX is going to be lurking in the jungle. He will be crossing over a ward if he decides to go for this combat the blink into the fight. But I think it's going to be risky, and he's going to go for it. So here comes the Ring of Spears, and here comes HyperX. There's going to be a significant amount of damage here. Carino's going to be trapped. Holy hell!
HyperX looking for the damage on Shaggy Shank. Shaggy Shank popping the shell there, looking for the damage on HyperX, blinking away there, dashing through the wall. Up in there he goes, needs to hit the shot. One shot coming out here, gonna find the backside of Emilito instead, knowing HyperX already dead, forcing him out of the fight. Big play from Coast. It's a 3-for-1 exchange. Corneo the only one to die to the instant vaporization of the Emir ultimate shards of ice. And now the Phoenix is exposed. It's up to Youngbei and Emilito to defend their home base here, but can they even get close enough to do it?
That was the initiation they wanted, but the Fire Giant too strong, bro. Too strong. And now this is going to be another tier 2 in the mid lane. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see him push down the Phoenix and then rotate over into the short lane and then just get that and then go back. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I love the initiation there. And that was, honestly, I don't like the play to go for the defense of the tier 2 tower on the left side. It left them wide open, especially given the fact that Emilito tried to force the fight, and that's kind of been
too.
Well, I mean, it was poor for C9. They had a very outstretched initiation. You saw Emilito jump at the very back when his teammates were not in a position to defend. Then you saw a follow-up from HyperX blinking with the ultimate, but all they got for it was Corneo, and then lost 2 teammates in the process. So because they had this very strange, elongated initiation where they were spreading out the team fight too far, it meant that Coast was able to kind of clean up on the targets that mattered most. They got Corneo, but that meant that Zindern and Shaggy Shank were still alive. Variety had the damage available, and that was really tough for them. The Gold Fury is going to go for free here for Coast. I don't see anyone even getting there remotely fast enough to defend it. So Coast will defend or get this Gold Fury free of charge without even a Hand of the Gods used. The crits coming out from Shaggy Shank are strong. That's going to put them at a very, very strong 4,700 gold lead.
And they cleared out all of the jungle. So you can just kind of see Cloud9's going to go there. They're going to get no experience from anything, no gold from anything. However, they will get gold from pushing out the waves that are shoved all the way up to their Phoenix. So that's at least going to be a plus. But now, I mean, Team Coast is starting to get scary. You could just take a look at the items, right? Zindern, Magi's Blessing, and Height of the Urchin. He is going to mitigate a lot of damage in the next team fight, and that's going to be difficult for them to handle because last thing you want is Nemesis to really be able to go through line 1, 2, and hop onto your carries.
Well, we're going to see a very wide open map right now for Coast. 2 Phoenixes down. 2 towers still standing on the side of C9, but it's not enough amount of defense. Now, it is also unfortunate that you saw across the map, the left side Phoenix is down, which means it's the furthest away from the Fire Giant. Now, they do have Apollo, which can defend and fly over, but of course, it'll take, 5-6 seconds of travel time to get there to defend it. And that leaves a lot of open space for Coast to complete the team fight and get the victory there. Youngbei has Deathbringer, which is going to make a big difference for him, but so does Shaggy Shank. Shaggy Shank, he's got that balance blade on top of him, 4-1 and 10 there for Shaggy Shank. So things are looking very good.
This is a good play. I really like this play. They just push down the solo lane, and then they put a little pressure on, then they push him back, and they have vision on Apollo, so they know Apollo's sitting there in the long lane, and he's just going to be pushing out just a bit. So once this Fire Giant comes up, this is going to force Apollo to come use his ultimate across the sky and come all the way for the Fire Giant that they've already started. All eyes on High Rock here.
Fire Giant started up, Hand of the Gods done, they're in position, but they're kind of scattered here to Youngbei's across the map. Zindern going in hot, looking for initiation, look for the Rom ultimate, gonna find it here, but it means that when he lands, he's far away from the fight, can't get any secured kills, NQ forced on out. They're gonna use this opportunity to attack the right side tier 2 tower as the map is wide open here. Youngbei's going for the left Phoenix,
he's gonna have to.
I mean,
he's going to need to get back with the quickness is what needs to really happen with him.
But he can't, I mean, what's he going to do? He gets a Phoenix and then his base is dead? I mean, there's 2 Phoenixes down. He has to go home. I like this play.
He has to go back. I mean, if he wants to get a Phoenix, sure, whatever, but the team's going to lose the game. Oh, Noxious Fume's going to be doing a lot. Weird initiation here from Emilito. High Rock's going to be there for the follow-up, though. And Isis, in comes Youngbei. Uh-oh, Princess Tomato, he got shredded.
Youngbei looking for the backside, looking for Shaggy Shank. The crits are coming out here. Variety is here. Big damage. Youngbei needs to get away from this one. Popping the EGM to buy time for his team to get there. The Spirit Ball coming out. Shaggy Shank stunned. Looking for the bomb. And looking down low. There goes the hit. Shaggy Shank going deep, but force him away. A lack of commitment from Optics and High Rock.
Yeah, they bailed on him.
Disengage.
Yeah, they bailed on him. Emilito had him. He hit him with Raven Shout and the lunge. He was doing a lot in the fight, and then they just bailed on him. Optics and Youngbei didn't want any piece of that pie. Granted, they were low, but they did have the follow-up. But, Fire Giant is going to restore a lot of health, plus the raw heal. Always have to be worried about that. And now, taking a look here, Searing Pain is online already again. That is the beauty of having CDR.
I'd like to see High Rock get a little more aggressive here. He does have Mid-Guardian Madel. He's got Witchblade. He's got health from Winged Blade. He's very tanky naturally. He isn't really building a whole lot of damage. In fact, he really only has 1 damage item to his name, yet he's playing quite cautious in the backlines, allowing Emily to take a lot of damage, Youngbei to take a lot of damage there. So I'd like to see him kind of get in there, pop that shell, and force the team fight for his team. Shaggy Shank will be ending the build here with that oboe, as you mentioned. So he's got the crypt, he's got the attack speed, he's got the pen, and it really works for a character like Rom, who can use his steroid to cap out his attack speed pretty easily.
Look at the Divine Ruin coming out from Princess Tomato as well. I'm intrigued.
Well, you got the heal from Isis, and really that's kind of the big combo there. So far, what they've noticed is that the ultimates from Optics have not been on the enemies. They're just kind of like halfway intersecting the ultimate from
That's
Odin,
the thing
which
that's
means
so
it's
tough
just
about
it's a
Isis.
defensive ultimate. It's not an offensive ultimate.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about Optics, right? Or Isis, excuse me. The big thing with Isis is like you don't know. So many people use the ults in different ways. Some people like the circle of protection to try to be offensive. Some like it defensive, but 9 times out of 10, I normally just see it just be wasted because they like try to find the perfect one, and there's never a perfect ult. You just got to rip it.
Well, ripping the left side of the map is Coast. They're looking for this Phoenix belly flop on 2. There goes ultimate coming out from Zinder, looking for the damage on top. Going to find this ring. He's going to disappear. Emily was out of the fight already, but HyperX by himself. Ice ultimate popping, big heal coming through, but now Shank's on the hunt. Dashing is Youngbei. He's surrounded. He's all behind enemy lines. The crits are coming through. His own wall from his own teammate blocks him into death, and now it's a 5 versus 2. The Titan is standing tall. The mid Phoenix is about to fall on down here, and Coast is taking their time.
Melito and HyperX trying everything they can in this team fight, but it's just falling a little bit short. You can see the wards coming down. They know it is going to be GG in just a matter of seconds, and Melito is going to push them. They're going to go with the Phoenix. They want to make sure that this Titan's as weak as humanly possible for this. The respawn here, 40 seconds on Youngbei, 25 on NQ. That is the worst scenario ever when you're a Smite player. It's like, oh, okay, how long until you're up? Oh, 40 seconds? Okay.
Oh, Optics getting a race there with that ultimate from Rom. HyperX in the backside trying to buy some time, but the Titan is done for, and that will be curtains for C9. Coast 24-17 finds a victory today, and a much deserved with the way they play, and they definitely want it. I mean, they're going to end this match and become 4-10 for their overall score, pushing Cloud9 to 6-7. Coast has a long way to go if they want to catch back up to the scoreboard here and cross SK Gaming. Looking at the stats, let's say the numbers here, Gandhi. We're going to see 4-5-11 on Optics, dropping 26,000 damage, the most for his team. It's going to be the 3rd most in the entire game, but it's tough for them, right? You can see 13,000 for Youngbei. Wasn't able to get in the fights that they needed across the way. Major damage from Corneo and Shaggy Shank, and a lot of healing. 15,000 healing done by Variety, and we're not seeing a whole lot of Variety in the way that people are picking Raw and using him effectively.
Yeah, and Optics actually doing a lot of player damage. 26,000. Next highest was 18,000 from HyperX.
Is it?
That's good. Now, the big thing here with this victory is in the Challenger Cup, there is a monster waiting in the European side of Agilitas. And you do not, bare minimum, whether you make top 4 or not, you do not want to go against Agilitas. So they, even this win, going for the 5th spot, big win for them.
We'll see. Team Coast, let's bring up the replay here of Corneo in the early stages of the game. This is when they got really, really greedy on the side of C9, and things are looking good for C9, but we'll see what they can do with it. Corneo by himself coming back, so you can see them jumping over, trying to see the damage buff, but watch what happens here. The Odin Spears come down, and Mirror Ultimate only lands on Princess Tomato. He's the only one who takes damage. He picks off Youngbei. He takes a lot of AoE, but plays it very, very safe, looking for the Path of Flames. Gonna find it. Damage on top of him. There goes the Ice Ultimate to heal him up, but it's not going to be enough. He hides behind his teammates, and now it's Emilito. Again, standing aside the heal, backing away, avoiding the shots, using his teammates as body blocking. Now with the Optics running away here, he's going to look for a bomb. There goes the ball. Flame Wave comes on out there, takes him out with a basic attack, and now we're going to see the goal free attempt to follow that one there. So it was a big pickup for Coast and very greedy for C9.
You know, we actually haven't been seeing a lot of Agni recently either. No. So it's really good to see him actually getting play. I mean, Noxious Fumes, everything. I mean, his whole kit is very, very good, and especially with a good synergy on your team, you're fine. But again, that's another Odin loss.
Yep.
Another one.
Well, Corneo made his debut as Agni in the qualifiers leading
really?
up to the regionals. Yeah, definitely a very strong play for him. So that's kind of where he came from. But again, yeah, Odin having a lot of trouble here. You can see his damage is quite low. His damage taken is quite low, and he's not able to kind of get the mobility he needs.
Did you see how, like, Cloud9, I was like, the one thing I'd be afraid of with this team comp is, like, the fanciness, right? Like, they're like, okay, you sneak around, HyperX, I'm going to go for the Ring of Spears, then you blink in, then you ult, and then in comes Youngbei. Oh, there's not enough damage.
Well, I think the difference here is the fact that HyperX didn't build for burst. He built for tank and he built for utility, which means that that combo potential was weakened by the fact that he didn't have any burst on his ultimate. But I think overall this came down to Coast making smart plays, playing cautious, and C9 falling short. We saw Emily to die. 2 very crucial moments where he wasn't able to secure the objective. But that's going to be it for this match, guys. The European side of things is completed for the day. We'll be heading into North America coming very, very shortly here in just about 9 minutes or so right here at the top of the hour. We'll see you shortly for the next match of the Smite Pro League.